Ever since the beginning of human civilization, we've resolved our differences with combat. Sure, nowadays we have diplomacy, interpersonal skills, the expectation of human rights, but as a default, us as humans, when we can't resolve our differences, we kill each other. I've seen with my own eyes the devastation that war and armed conflict creates, but I want to break this down to the lowest level. People, humans, you and me, we've all been to a point of utter frustration that has caused us to lose our heads. What I mean by that is that you can't figure out what to do, right? Our muscles clench, sometimes we start to pace, ball up our fists, maybe even go as far as to strike an inanimate object, or maybe even go as far as striking another person. Now, perhaps a friend with a cooler head has calmed you down, or you were able to rely on your own rationality as to have not responded with violence. That rationale is fairly new to the evolution of mankind, by the way. Now, let's go just a little bit further. You use your head, avoided becoming violent, and the same person or thing starts again. It becomes annoyingly frustrating. You'd probably just tell me, I'd walk away and avoid the situation, but let's just say that's not an option. Maybe you start thinking that like a quick pop in the mouth or a thigh kick to drop them, nothing major, just simple and effective. You begin to think that violence could be the best course of action, and well, maybe that's true. I've joked around about the problem in our society is that nobody's scared to get punched in the face anymore. Maybe people would be a bit more polite if they thought that you might give them a fat lip for saying the wrong thing. Sorry, got a little sideways there. Now, let's take this frustrating moment that we just talked about and scale it up to a national or even a global level. Given the neurodiversity of the human race, not everyone has the rational capacity to make a decision that would be in the best interest of the country, let alone the world. Let's take a look at the reasons why people have fought wars over the years. The most common one is access to limited resources. I want, or better, I need what you have, and you don't want to share it. Okay, then I'm just going to take it. Well, you can only threaten to do that if you have the resources and ability to follow through. Financial, logistics, the bodies. You need these in order to make that threat credible. Now, the next most common reason people go to war, religion. So here's the problem with the religious war. Religion is a belief system. There's no way to prove whether somebody is right or wrong, but the belief can be so strong that you can know something that can't be proven. And that's why it's called a belief system, because you can believe that something is true. Belief systems are such that it may be true for you, but it's not really true for other people. Unless, and here's the caveat, you convince them. And because it's a belief, rational arguments don't work. You need methods of coercion, maybe a threat of violence to help convince them. Okay, so I must say, some of the most violent shit people have ever done to one another is when one faction has a belief system that differs from their adversary, right? I heard this quote a long time ago. I don't remember where I heard it, but it said that any bad man is capable of doing evil things, but for a good man to do evil things, that requires religion. My question to you is this, and don't give me the answer. The answer is for you to know. I want you to ask yourself, is there anything that you would die for? Now, what I have found is that the less tangible the thing is, the less evidence there is to support it, the more willing people are to die for it. Now, you get one chance in life, man. Don't blow it. War typically seems like this glorious and honorable thing at the beginning, right? Nazi Germany, Pearl Harbor, Kosovo, 9/11, it brings national pride. We rally the troops. Moms place yellow ribbons around the oak tree and leave a candle in the front window. Then the body bags start coming back, coffins draped in flags. News reports of civilian casualties calling it collateral damage. People just trying to live their lives are now susceptible to decisions that are made by people in power a half a world away. So, do I think war is necessary? In some cases, yes. Peace at any cost is not peace, it's submission. Now, that's my opinion. They say don't use a cannon to kill a mosquito. War shouldn't be a knee-jerk reaction, nor do I think every job requires a hammer. But some jobs, they need a big fucking hammer. You know, love him or hate him, Ronald Reagan had a point when he addressed the UN. He said, "Here we are, with all of our differences. Imagine how close we would be together if we had to fight a common enemy, such as an invader from space."
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat from outside this world.
All right, so no, I'm not going to get into UFOs here, but maybe we need some outside universal threat to make us come together as a species. And no, I'm not calling for a global scale red flag event. Calm down, weirdos. So whether you like it or not, war will continue for many generations to come. War is a tragic event that affects everyone, even if you aren't involved. I think conversations are the best course of action, but that requires mankind to swallow its pride a bit and humble itself. Reserve the right to punch somebody in the face, but try to avoid doing that as best you can. The man, Teddy Roosevelt, the very definition of what a man is, said in Michigan at a speech in 1901, "Speak quietly, but carry a big stick. Basically, negotiate peacefully, but be prepared to use force if necessary." To avoid war or even personal conflict, you need three things. 1, you need diplomacy, tact, and respect. 2, you need to allow your adversary to save face. Give the man a way out, don't back him into a corner. And 3, you need to have military strength and resources. And in the case of personal conflict, you need one hell of a thigh kick. Oh, and it should go without saying, but it needs to be heard. Whatever you do, don't fucking bluff. Say what you mean what you say. Now that ended up being longer than I intended, so I'll close with this. You know that old phrase, can't we all just get along? Well, we can. We have that ability, but on a global scale, I just don't see it happening, and it's fucking sad. Thanks for watching.